Hi, Joy Olson, Blockbuster Fundraising, and hey, today we've got 5 strategic fundraising calendar tips for all you experts out there. Staying on top of your fundraising goals starts with plotting out a detailed timeline. And speaking of detailed timelines, I thought that this particular blog from Bloomerang might be of really good help for you right now for your annual campaign. And the hard work begins now and runs through our last 2 quarters, quarter 3 and quarter 4. And so we're all worried about planning our mailings and a series of emails and supplementary social media posts for December. But what we have to remember, as Bloomerang points out, is we must plan the core of our campaign. And they give us this wonderful sample annual appeal timeline. Going to know a lot from this. You're going to know who's going to be doing it and when they're going to be doing it. Okay, we're looking at it. August 1st, we're going to have a brainstorm meeting, and we're going to be the theme and the messages. And that's August 1st. August 7th, we're going to create a timeline and draft our segmentation chart. And then August 18th through 23rd, we're going to draft a letter and our remit form. And on August 25th through 30th, we're going to see finalized drafts, and we're going to review them. And as you can see, we know who's going to be doing all this. August 28th, we're going to review our segmentation chart. And September 5th, we've got the finalization of the segmentation of the database. So we load in the codes, we create the list of counts per segment, we create spreadsheets for review. Now, on September 8th, we've purge our database and review it. This is so important, September 8th. September 11th through the 15th, we talk to our mail house. We spec out the job. We talk to the printer. We make sure that we are lined up for the dates that we need to be out of the mail house so that we get into the mailbox of our donors on the exact date that we want to be there. And it's getting earlier and earlier. When I came into development 25 years ago, they were saying, be the first letter in the mailbox after Thanksgiving. Now everybody's there before Thanksgiving. Times are moving much quicker. Okay, so on September 12th, Bloomerang suggests that you meet with the designer for finalization. And September 18th through the 29th, you run note writer reports, and you send to note writers to review your content. And on September 27th, you meet with your executive director to discuss your final appeal package. September 22nd through October 3rd, you contact all of your note writers regarding how they would like to do the notes. And this is a lot of personalization, and they can come to your place at their convenience. You can have a note writing party. You can write notes for them, but this is personalization, personalization, personalization. Don't wait any longer than this, because the holidays are coming up and nobody will want to come in and write those notes. All right, on October 2nd, you request a check to update with the post office. You want to make sure that the post office and the mail house, that you're not going to be waylaid, backlogged, not get out of there when you want to. And on October 10th, you receive all your lists back from your note writers. If you have to make any changes, you do so then in your database. October 9th through 18th, the printer has all of your print materials printed. October 16th through 20th, you can pull your segments by appeal code. And you do your final segment review. You have your zip file, and you send your data to the mail house. And if you need to, then between the 16th and the 20th, you run newly updated note writing lists. October 27th, Bloomerang says, the mail house they deliver the prepared items back to you. You set it up in your conference room and you make sure that everything is perfect. And then October 30th, you draft and produce your thank you letters and inserts. November 1 through 2, you assign follow-up calls to your board and development committee members, and you prepare more information for note writers and callers. And on November 7th, you generate a list of donors who have made annual gifts since their codes were pulled, and you delete that appeal code from their database. November 10th, you drop your bulk segments from the mail house. November 17th, you drop your first class segments by taking the envelopes to the post office. November 18th through the 22nd, you write staff appeals, you get labels from human resources, you assemble and distribute, and that is a great annual appeal timeline to give you an idea how you can actually get in and be ready. And you can use this and you can modify it, of course, for your own use. And the core components of your annual appeal planning is you want to brainstorm the theme, you want to brainstorm your message and your package elements, because this is your opportunity to think about your vision, your mission, and values from the perspective of what truly matters to your constituents. What's in it for them to be invested with you? What areas do they earmark their giving for? What articles of yours do they read and share? What are frequently asked questions? So you want to ask and brainstorm the answers to these questions. You want to know, what makes your donors' hearts sing? What's going on in the news that people are thinking about? And how can your message tie you back to what folks are already concerned about? So you want to pull a group together. This may be staff or volunteers, and spend some time up front thinking together about what may be compelling and inspiring to your supporters. And a tip here, Bloomerang says, is when everyone on your team has ownership of your annual campaign theme, you'll get greater investment in seeing every step of the plan through to fruition. Writers have to feel passionate about the message. Don't ask them to write an appeal that they don't believe in, or even one that bores them to death. The administrative assistant who writes the thank you letter has to buy into the themes as well, or the thank you is going to be dry and transactional rather than transformational, and so on with each member of your team. So remember, autumn is coming. Everyone and their dog will soon be competing for your donors' attention. What will make your appeal stand out and resonate? People can't give to everything, and increasingly they aren't. Folks are giving fewer and larger gifts to fewer organizations. They're giving to make an impact, not a drop in the bucket. So, takeaway here is don't simply repeat what you wrote last year. It's once again that time of year, so we hope you'll join us in our mission. That's pretty boring stuff. Is now a time when your service is needed more than ever? Why? Spell this out and make me believe you. And you know that segmentation chart that we talked about? You'll always get your best results when you show people that you know them. So the first step towards personalization is dividing your database into segments based on 1, how the people are affiliated with you, and 2, when, how, and how much they give. There are so many ways to slice this, and you can't make every possible cut. But think about all the cuts you could possibly make to begin. Then narrow your focus. Once you've segmented your list, you can tailor your appeal letter appropriately. And the tip here from Bloomerang, they say just a few tweaks in your copy can pack a big punch. If I'm a board member, I'd appreciate a letter that says, as a board member, you understand better than most. The same holds true if I'm a parent, an alum, a patient, a ticket holder, a subscriber, a member, or some other type of donor. If you can acknowledge that in connection with your appeal, you definitely should, and it'll pay off. When you separate larger donors from smaller donors, you can also tailor your remit piece appropriately, and you should. You want to up, if they give a lot, you want to up the remit giving amounts. In fundraising, different strokes for different folks applies in spades. Someone who's giving you less than $100 should receive a different appeal than someone who gives you $500 or more. In the case of the smaller donors, you may ask them to repeat their giving by suggesting a string of amounts that will be reflected in your remit piece or donation landing page. For larger donors, you may ask for a specific amount that matches, for first-time donors, or is greater than, for repeat donors, what they previously gave. And you'll want to use a higher-end response device. It makes little sense to ask a $500 to give $15, $25, $50, or $100. That's ridiculous. It's much better to ask them to give $250, $500, or $2,500. Don't wait until September to look for your best content. Get in there. Find emotional stories to tell. You really need to brainstorm. You must. Right now, you don't need to, you must brainstorm your best stories. Do you have permission to share your best story? If not, can you get it or work around it? In a nutshell, you need three things. You need the problem that you're addressing. Can you make it seem real and relevant to your prospective donor? The solution you're proposing to address the problem you need next, only with your donor's help. And specifically, how can they help? The purpose and the amount of the gift you're requesting. The tip here is determine in advance whether you have compelling visuals to illustrate these stories. If not, get your photos ready, get your videos ready. Or should you pick another story? A picture is really worth 1,000 words, and a photo, ideally, of one person that donors can help to your mail and your email appeal that is added, it's going to make such a big difference, and on your social media too. Folks, pay more attention if you include your donation impacts graphics. And urgency, don't forget urgency. It's the key motivator. Now's your time to determine what you can do to create urgency. All right. We've talked about you're going to plan ahead for those personal notes. We've got all that in there. You know that people give to people, and which is why Bloomerang says that their favorite tip is donor response to appeals with personal handwritten notes is significantly higher than response to appeals without them. Of course, you're going to want to test or track this for yourself. But they say, and they know what they're talking about, Bloomerang, they've seen an increase in response from 2% to 34%, making it well worth the effort. So there's so many things to think about right now, but July is a perfect time to get that calendar out and then to get your annual appeal dates on that calendar, because autumn is coming. The 30% in December of your entire year's gifts. It makes so much difference to get organized right now. Okay, Joy Olson here, Blockbuster Fundraising, Joy Olson Group. You can find a lot more information at both of our websites. We're on YouTube. We've got our Blockbuster Fundraising channel with over 300 free fundraising video tips. We're here live every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Daylight Standard Time right now, Daylight Standard Time. And we're really enjoying our Instagram IGTV. So catch us anywhere. We're here to help bring you the best of the best tips, inspiration, just give you information that makes you love your fundraising even more and do better and better each and every week. Bye-bye. Thanks.